Hey guys, so in today's video I'm talking about how I DIY'd my America Chavez jacket from the new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness movie. Now since I didn't want the video to be too long, this video is only going to be about doing the back and the sleeves of the jacket just because I didn't want the video to go on for so long. I will have a separate video talking about everything I did for the front of the jacket coming up really soon hopefully. But yeah, let's just jump right into this. So the first thing I'm doing is laying the sleeve as straight as possible and trying to find the center for the blue line, making sure there's no wrinkles in it so I can get a nice straight line on it. And this is the brand of paint I'm using. It's called Art Minds. It was in like the dollar section at Michael's, and I'm also using the white fabric paint of this brand. I'll put it on the screen. And here I'm just using some regular tape to section it out so we get nice clean lines when we paint. And I'm making sure to get the top area as well so we don't get any paint on any other things we've already done. So here I'm mixing together the blue and the white so we get a nice light blue color, and I'm just going right in that center area and just painting everything, just getting a nice solid color, making sure you can't see the streaks in it or anything. And when I was done with that first side, I of course moved on and did the exact same thing to the other arm. And when it had all finished drying, I went in and removed the tape to reveal those nice clean lines underneath. And from the photos we have of America's jacket, we know she has 3 white stars going down the side of her jacket. So I'm starting out with doing the stars, and just to make sure there's like even spacing between each of them, I started doing these dots so I would have a good placement for where everything should go. So in a second you'll see me do it. So there's the 1 star for the middle, and then the other star that will be the lower one on the arm, and then I just filled in the stars in those positions. And again, I repeated everything on the other arm as well. And of course I left it to dry, make sure it's in a good position where none of the paint is going to wrinkle or mess up or touch any other parts. And once it was fully dry, I was ready to move on to the back and do that big star design that she has on the back of her jacket. So using multiple sheets of notebook paper, I got a star that was about the right size I wanted for the jacket, put it in the center, and here I'm just using a pink crayon to trace onto the jacket itself. Once I move the star, you'll still be able to see it a little bit underneath. And I am now taping where the darker blue areas on her jacket are so you can get a good sense for the pattern around it. As you can see from the picture, it's like a faded blue in certain areas around the star, so I'm just using the tape to try and get that shape. And here it is when it's all finished. Now I'm taking a little bit of water and some blue acrylic paint. You might be safer with fabric paint, but all I had was dark blue acrylic paint. Mixed it with a little bit of water, and in between those clean lines went ahead and just painted them in the correct order that they showed on her jacket. And when I was doing this, my goal was to make sure it was darker closer to the star, and as I got further away from the star, I tried to fade the color out a bit so it looked like there was a nice gradual fade from where the color was. And when I finished with it, I went ahead and was ready to remove the tape, but I realized, and you saw a little hesitancy there, I realized that since I used water, the lines weren't as clean as I wanted them to be. In certain spots they were cleaner, and in certain spots it just looked like a blob. And I was a little upset, but then I remembered that I was going back through with my white fabric paint anyway. So what I'm doing with the white fabric paint is basically I'm trying to clean up the lines and make the lines on the darker blue areas much sharper. And I'm also trying to, after I do this, I'm going to go back through with the white paint and make sure the areas in between the darker blue color are lighter, because it looks lighter on her jacket as well. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up the lines, and also you might see me adjust the faded color on the ends of the blue as well. It's just to make it look better. And once again, I've watered down my white fabric paint, and I'm just going in between those lines to make it look lighter like it does on her jacket, and still trying to clean it up a bit. And just like I did with the blue, I want it to be whiter closer to where the actual lines of the star are, so there's a better fade. But yeah, that's all I'm doing, just basically cleaning it up and trying my best. And after I was done with the white, I'm taking my red fabric paint and I'm just going along the lines of the star. I'm realizing now in editing you can't really see it, but in person I could still see it perfectly, so using the crayon worked fine. And I'm using a like rounded sponge brush just to give it like a faded effect. You don't have to use what I use, but it was cheap and that's why I ended up using it. And once the star is fully outlined, I'm taking my fabric paint and I'm going directly onto the jacket, because I figured I have so much ground to cover with this. But what I'm doing first is making sure I get a clean outline with a like smaller, more detailing brush, just to make sure my outline is like as clean as it can be. But it was a little tedious, so I ended up using my foam brush, I guess is what you would call this. And I'm just filling in those spaces that I've already outlined, but I just wanted to make sure I had a good clean outline as I did this. But yeah, it kind of takes forever to fill this thing in. And once it was fully finished and dry, you can still see all the brush marks in it. So I actually wanted to go in and do another layer of the white paint just to make sure it was a good solid shade of white and you can see all the brush strokes in it. And doing a second layer actually made sure there were no brush strokes. It looks pretty solid now, I'd say. And that is the finished full back star design. It's not perfect, and I probably could have went in and extended those blue lines a bit, but I think it looks good for a quick little DIY. And now I want to move on to the flame design that is on her right sleeve. I actually started this off camera because I was like, I got a little frustrated with it and just ended up freehanding the whole thing. So I started on the front and now I'm gonna work on the back. And what I did for this is I took some I started out trying to use a fabric pen, and that did not work at all. So I kind of just freehanded this whole thing. I am not an artist by any means. I just kind of wanted a cool looking flame design like hers. It does not look as cool as hers, but I think it looks all right. And once I was finished drawing out the flame, I'm just filling in the top half of it because the bottom half is going to be red. So I just filling it in, making sure it's as solid as it can be before I go in with the red color. And I skipped past some of the parts because it was just over and over doing the same thing. But this is it all filled in halfway. And now what I'm going to do is take the red fabric paint and fill in the bottom half of it. And I'm just not worried about blending them just yet. I'm just trying to fill it in with the red and get it as far up as I want it to go. And then to blend it, I'm taking more of the orange and with my finger sort of rubbing it into the red, just making sure it looks like a nice ombre from red to orange. And I think it looks pretty good. This is it when it was fully dry, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Another detail that I filmed off camera was the pride flag that she has on the back of her jacket on the very bottom. I just did a couple of quick lines. It was nothing special. And for a couple last details, she has like a couple of stars on her right shoulder that I'm just filling in as well. And when it's all finished, this is what those little cluster stars looks like. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little DIY from my America Chavez jacket. I'm not sure whether or not the front of this jacket tutorial has been posted or not yet, but if it is, you should go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more cosplay DIYs. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok to see all my other cosplay antics, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!